Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Talkin Tuesdays, the person behind the pit. It's obviously Tuesday, and thank you everyone for coming in. We got Cherry Anchor Barbecue, Chops Bass, Blazing Star, Bikes Brewing Q, Cherry Anchor again, Rio, TFTI. What's up, dude? Um, I'll call him the M Chef, just so it doesn't sound like I'm saying anything bad. All right. So without further ado, our special guest on this Talking Tuesday is Jennifer Sabasagari. Yeah, I hope I didn't didn't say that in a bad way.
No,
So
you
how are you?
didn't. You didn't. You actually did such a great job. A lot of people don't know how to pronounce my last name, but
Yeah,
you did
it
such a great job.
it looks harder than it is to pronounce. If you just
Yeah,
pronounce it exactly the way it's spelled, then there you go.
right. Oh,
So
what are you drinking?
just the
Coors
old
Light. Good old
fancy
Coors
Coors
Light.
Light.
It's so good. I love Coors Light. In Texas, we're like beer drinkers. So,
Heck yeah. What's your beer of choice, if you don't mind me asking?
Shinerbach, Coors Light, Michelob Ultra. I
Heck
also
yeah.
like Ziegenbach.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, lately I've been sort of dabbling into the seltzers.
Oh, the seltzers are so good, but I feel like those are just like girly, so it's good to like when I'm with my girlfriends, but when I'm cooking, I need something more stronger. Like,
Right, right.
you know,
Yes. But to
especially
be honest,
outside.
um the seltzers are getting a lot better flavor wise, or like
They
the
are.
combinations and stuff.
Hmm.
And really I actually like cooking with them.
I do
Now,
too. To make like sauces or to marinate
yes.
with them, yeah,
Yes.
they're very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zimas.
Especially like beer, like if you want to do like a really like a citrus beer can chicken, you can use like a lime seltzer to marinate the beer can chicken with. It's really
Oh
good,
yeah.
especially if you
Absolutely.
drizzle some barbecue sauce on there. Super good. I usually
Yeah.
use the Bud Lights. I think the Bud
Uh-huh.
Lights
Yeah, the
are
Bud Light Limes.
better than the white. What is it? White owl or white claws? I think.
White Claw, White Claw.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Those are good too.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's like a I believe there's like a some sort of I can't say compound or chemical in the seltzers that actually naturalize, like tenderize the meat naturally.
Really?
Yeah,
I
that's
did
what they
not know
say. And
that.
that's why, like, if you marinade sometimes in like a soda or something like that, something in the carbonation that.
Oh yeah, it's well, from what I heard, it's in like club soda, it's the carbonation. Super.
Yeah, so in the seltzers, it's a lot more than the carbonation, a lot more than like a regular soda per se. So
Oh,
I guess it's beneficial, if you must,
I
I
did not
guess.
know that. Learn
I
something
mean,
new every day.
and well, yeah, and you know it. That's one of those kind of like it may or may not work. Kind of like beer can chicken. Like some say it really helps it, some say it really just absolutely does nothing. You know,
Well, I feel like also it depends on how long you marinate it for and how
true,
condensed your marinade is. Like a lot of people just marinate it just with a whole bunch of beer. I feel like
right?
that takes away the flavor. And when you taste the chicken, you really would taste the beer. But if you add some fat, some seasoning,
Hmm.
I love using if I do beer chicken, I love using um fennel pollen
Ooh,
and smoked paprika, and just like a
dang it!
little bit of liquid smoke. It's really good because it gave it
Wow.
like a very it gives it a very smoky flavor, but also you can taste the sweet of the beer in there.
Uh huh. Okay. Well, I like that. I like this conversation. However, this conversation, this Talking Tuesdays, the person behind the pit, is just that. It
Right.
doesn't have to be about barbecue necessarily, but I just call it the pit for whatever. But it's about you behind the stove, behind all the cooking, behind the content creation. And so for starters, why don't we just go ahead and introduce kind of who you are at the moment? Not necessarily a backstory. Just tell us kind of what you do, who you are. Yeah, and that's about it. Go ahead.
Before I start, first of all, thank you so much for bringing me on.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to be here. This is so great. And
Uh,
I love, we connected last week and I was like, wow, this is so amazing when I saw on here. A little bit about me. So I'm Jennifer Sidbasigari. I am a culinary chef here in Houston, Texas, an influencer, and I do a lot of philanthropy work as well. I am from Africa in Congo. I moved here when I was about 12 years old as a refugee. Um, and my culinary journey started when I was about 8 years old in the middle of a brutal war, but I'm sure we're gonna get into that a
yeah,
little
yeah,
later.
yeah.
But one thing that I'm doing right now, I'm putting an event together with so many amazing chefs and live fire legends here in Houston. So if you're here in Houston, make sure you check us out and come on out, and we'll
And
love
that's
to.
at the end of the month, right?
Yeah, that's on the 23rd. It's called Live Fire
23rd.
on the Go. Another thing, I do have a nonprofit. It's called Seabest Foundation. We work with refugees like myself here in the
Wow.
city of Houston. Um, excuse me. I have a day here. The city of Houston awarded me with my own day due to all of the nonprofit that I have done for the city.
Wow.
Um, I create content for major culinary brands. That's like my full time gig. And I'm putting together my second annual gala for my nonprofit. So I have a lot of things in store.
Yeah, you do.
This year, I will also become a TEDx speaker. So I'm super excited about that.
What?
Yes.
That's crazy.
So I have a lot going on, but at the end of the day, food is where I belong. My heart is in food. I love anything culinary when it comes to open fire, from fine dining, from Michelin star, from mom and pops, from
Right.
food trucks, from, I'm just all about the food.
Right. If you can cook it, you're there, right?
Absolutely.
Wow. So this is crazy. Like, so uh I'm not it's not a negative, but I'm just barbecue Steve. I don't
Yeah.
I'm not too popular, and it's so I feel really honored to have you on. I feel
Thank you
like,
for
oh my
having
gosh,
me.
like, yeah. So I mean, hey, if anything, you could practice some of that TEDx speech that you're gonna end up doing. So
You know what's so funny? I was actually practicing it today.
yeah, there you go. So, okay,
A
so
lot.
your story actually really intrigues me, the beginning of your story. So,
Thank you.
I think why don't we go ahead and really go into that, and like I tell my guests, you could go as personal or as not personal as you want. Some guests have shed tears, some guests have just not talked about themselves at all. So, there's no pressure, to say, oh well, oh my gosh, it doesn't always have to be a struggle story. It could be uh hugely like motivating, it doesn't have to be anything else. But it's just so the reason why I started these shows was to have people that wouldn't normally get to know you get to know content creators, the people that we look up to, and to relate to them a little bit more.
I want to
you know
piggyback on what you just say. So during the pandemic, I used to do a show like yours. It's called Behind the Kitchen.
oh, that's
If
crazy.
you check it on my Instagram TV, I interview over 50 chefs just like you do here, but we did it on Instagram Live.
Right.
And I feel like it's so important to do these because a lot of people don't really know who is behind the pit or behind the
Yeah,
kitchen.
that's
You see
fantastic.
absolutely. You see all these chefs and you're like, oh my God, this is my favorite chef. I love him. He's amazing. But you really don't know what he has to go through to become the master that he is. So I felt like it
Right.
was very important. A lot of people were cooking during the pandemic every day, and I was like, I'm
Uh-huh. Right.
boring. I was like, how many more recipe can we see at this point? Like,
Yeah.
I was
That's
like,
yeah,
I have
that's how I felt.
all
Yes.
bird
Yeah.
chicken, raw chicken. I was like, at this point, we need something else. So I love what you're doing. So yeah, it's super, super dope.
Yeah, I actually started the show on Instagram.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I have quite a few um other IGTVs that are saved.
Same.
The so I'm sure you can understand what I'm saying when I do this. So it was really hard because I couldn't address any comment in the IGTV because obviously when you save it and people watch it, they don't see any comments.
Yeah.
And so it's so hard, if I were to just go, "Yes, Cherry Anchor, thank you very much." That
Right.
her story is so awesome. You know what I'm saying? So I could address that and show, and then when people watch this back, if they watch it
Mhm.
tomorrow on YouTube, they could still see all the comments.
Absolutely.
And so it was really, really difficult. And then you had the comments in front of the other person's face half the time. It's just stuff like that. So that's kind of why I did bring it here as well. But that actually, I'm just going to interrupt that real quick because I know we're probably going to get into some really good story time. So so like where I met you last week with Al Fragoni, what I do is this show, I have it for about an hour. Okay.
Mhm.
And then what I do is like to invite my guests to the after party, which is carried on over to Instagram.
Okay.
So this way, like, and like you like yourself when we got you in there when Al was the featured guest, and this way, maybe one of your friends can come in, or just it's more of, like I said, like a party kind of thing, where it's less formal, just less of a podcast than So, but anyways, let's forget about any of that.
No
So
worries.
what I want to know that story. So, refugee, 8 years old, you started cooking.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's let's find this out. So you were born where again?
So I was born in Burundi. My father was a diplomat for the Congolese government in
Wow.
Burundi. Yeah.
Okay, so start there. Let's go.
So a little bit after, I'm sure a lot of you guys know about the genocide of Rwanda
Hmm.
that killed millions of people. Well, I am one of the victims of that. Um, so shortly after that, we had to relocate back to our native country, which was the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Hmm.
And when we were there, my father he was very unsafe there. He was getting kidnapped by soldier because of
Jeez.
who he was. Also, the way his facial structure sounds ridiculous, but it's very true. So after that, he had to relocate to the capital of Congo, which is Kinshasa. We followed him after that. The same cycle continued to happen. So the United Nations and a lot of nonprofit organization, um, they gave 1,500 Congolese visa to relocate to the United States.
Wow.
So in order to relocate to the United States, you have to go to a refugee camp.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we fled to the refugee camp. We didn't have anything. We left everything behind. And that's when I started cooking when we relocated from Burundi to our country. My mother, I'm going backward, but my mother used to sew to make extra money, and she will make me dolls with fabric. So because I didn't have any friends, I needed to feed my dolls. So I would take a little tomato can, couple charcoal,
Uh-huh.
adding fluid, oil, and scrap, and I would make food for my dolls. That
Wow.
was literally like my first culinary experience, and that food was kind of good because I used to eat it too myself.
Right, right, right.
When I was a kid.
Oh,
So
that's
after
awesome.
that, when we went to the refugee camp, one day my mom, we didn't go to school. We lived in tents outside in a desert. we were getting screened to come to America. So I would always watch my mom. So my mom started a business selling chapati. So it's kind of like non bread.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So, but it's very popular in Africa. So she will make the chapati, and I will go sell for her.
Is it kind of spongy?
Yeah,
Like like yeah, okay. I've had that. Yes. Okay,
you
go
have.
ahead.
It's really good. It's made with butter.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I will. That's really where I learned my sales skills. Was my mom would make the chapati, and I would go to all the campers. There was 780 people in that refugee camp, and I would just go house to house and selling the chapati to all the
Wow.
campers. So after that, one day my mom had to go to the market, and she was like, "Hey, I will always watch her cook and just prep for her." I was the youngest, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to cook?" And no, she was worrying. She didn't know who was gonna cook, and I was like, "Mom, I can cook. I watch you all the time." And then she was like, "I don't want to waste food with you." So my neighbor, was like, "Oh, I'll let Jenny cook. It's okay. If she messed it up, Mom, you have food. We'll eat yours." So that was my first ever meal. I made a stew, very rich tomato based stew of
Wow.
beef, and my mom came home and was like, "Whoa, this is so good.
And you
How
did
did
this over open fire.
over open fire all by myself?" And after that, I just started cooking. So when we moved here to America, I was really lost. I really didn't really know who I was. So I didn't
Right,
really
right.
want to go. I didn't really want to cook. But during high school, when I was in high school, my mom had two jobs. She had to take care of us and my father. So I was the youngest. So I would cook for my whole family. So instead of
Wow.
doing like extracurricular activities, I was going home cooking, and I hated it. Oh, it
Mm.
was so bad. So when I graduated out of high school, I didn't want to go to college or anything like that. So
Right.
I relocated to Houston, and I started really growing my influence in Houston. That's whenever Instagram started in 2010. I got on Instagram, and I started working with so many brands, but they were
Mhm.
more, and I also did like, excuse me, like music videos. I worked at clubs as a waitress, bartender.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I just started growing this influence. Then I turned 25, and I was like, wait, what is going on here? I was like, I just
Right.
cannot be partying like this my whole life.
Right, right, right.
What
You
am
don't
I
wanna be the
gonna do?
old you don't wanna be the old person in the club.
Right. And I was like, man, what do I want to do? I've traveled, I've partied, I've done so much. I've worked with so many brands. And this was more like clothing brand, makeup brands. And I'm like, what can I do? My life just kept getting old because it was like I was doing the same thing.
Mhm.
And I just had an epiphany. I had a crazy birthday party, and after my birthday party, I woke up. It was very insane. I had like five birthday party in a whole week, so you can just imagine. And I woke up and I was like, maybe I should go to culinary school. I love cooking. Every time my girlfriends are here, I cook for them.
Right, right.
And I went on the internet and I was just Google famous chef. I stumbled up on Giada.
De Laurentiis, yeah?
Yes, De Laurentiis. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God. She went to culinary school when she was 25. She is hot. She's foreign.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be the Black Giada.
There you go.
And I was going around telling people that I wanted to be the Black Giada.
Sick.
And I went to culinary school. I literally left everything in Houston. I was like, forget this. Went to culinary school, started working in the kitchen. Like my life just changed tremendously. I came from partying and, having really living a luxury life to being in the kitchen at 6 a.m. and work and
Yeah.
like, it's not fun. So
Right, right.
I have to do this. So after culinary school, I was working at all these restaurants. After culinary school, me and this other guy, we landed the best internship in culinary, which was Walt Disney. So at that time, I still had a lot of influence on social media, but I was not using my influence for the right thing. So I started confusing my followers. My followers were like, wait, I thought you were the sexy girl. Now you
Right.
cook. What the hell?
Right.
What's going on? So I went to Disney, worked there. I worked over 8 restaurants in there. I was really climbing the ladder. I got burned out. I was like, I don't want to do this corporate bullshit.
Yeah.
I want to go. I was like, man, I want to go cook real food with like. So I worked at the #1 restaurant in Houston right after culinary school, and I was there until it closed. After that, I was just burned out. It
Right.
was like
Right.
I worked from 9 a.m. to midnight because it was one of those, they call it the tweezer restaurants. So there's only 4 cooks, a chef,
Uh-huh.
tasting menu. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So the restaurant closed, and I was like, I'm done with the restaurant. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. What
Mhm.
can I do? I still love culinary. I went and worked for the highly rated food truck manufacturing company. So what we did is we built food truck from the ground up. We worked with chef caterers. We made business
Nice.
plan for them. We did all like the whole 9 yards. So I went and worked there for 3 years. And the place that I was working at, I was kind of having a little thing with the owner. So that just slapped in my face one day. And I was like, I am done with this
Like
working.
a little thing or like a little thing?
Like a little thing thing.
Thing. Okay, okay. So, I mean, I know you're married, right? You are, so I don't wanna be like I don't wanna, like, make anyone mad or anything, so, yeah. I had to ask, sorry.
So I was like, whatever, this is whack. I was like, this is crazy. This is whack. I gotta go. I got burned out. I was like, forget these people. I am out. So I left and I woke up. I was like, what can I do? What am I going to do? I
Yeah.
remember when I worked at Oxheart, which was the #1 restaurant, I had to make orange juice from scratch every day.
Ooh,
Like literally, I had to juice, clarify, steep, all that every day.
wow.
And they will always be like, Ginny, you're the juicer. You can, like, I was the best juicer. Like, all of them were like, Ginny, how do you juice like this? And I was like, let me start a juice company. So I
Well,
started a juice company. It went very well. Everybody loved, but I had no idea how to run a business.
okay.
So at this point, I'm like, I'm making these juices. People love these juices. I'm selling out every pop up that I'm doing. I'm full with order. I hit a plateau. I
Uh-huh.
had no working capital. What am I going to do?
Right.
It's like, I need to pay my bills. I don't have
Yeah.
no money. Like, what am I going to do? This juice company is not doing it. So I had to put that aside and really reconsider what I wanted to do. So
Mhm.
I went back and got a job.
Dang.
So at this point, like I'm still doing social media influencer, still working my Jenny on the go company because I opened that up right after culinary school. So still making just little passive income here and there. So I'm
Right,
going
right.
back to the restaurant. I'm like, forget this. I don't want to work at a restaurant. I go to a restaurant, I get a little leadership position, and I'm like, fuck this. Like, this is whack. I'm just like over it. I get to the point, I'm like, no, I am so done with this. Because
Right.
then I'm looking at the restaurant, I'm seeing that I'm not really learning anything. So for me
Mhm.
to go work at a restaurant, like if I take a job today, that means I am learning a new position that I never had. So I don't mind taking a job
Mhm.
because, but I have to learn. It has to be a
Right.
learning experience. So I was like, man, I'm not learning anything, right?
Uh-huh.
Then I stopped that job and the pandemic happened. I just
Oh,
had my 2 weeks notice. One of the chef was being a little crazy. I was like, oh no. I was like, when they start messing up, because I wanted to go work in purchasing. I was like, I need to learn how to, because
yeah.
my goal is to have a restaurant. I was like, I need to
Yeah,
learn
your goal
how
is to learn how to run a business.
exactly. So I was like, I want to learn purchasing. It was either purchasing, going to the purchasing department, or working pastry. And I was like,
Okay.
either I need to learn how to bake or I need to learn how to, purchasing. They didn't
Right.
want to move me. And I was like, oh, hell no. When they told me that I had to work the same shift 6 more months, I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm here. I put my 2 weeks notice. I was out. And then a month later, the pandemic happened. The whole country was closed.
Yeah.
I was like, that's when I was like, okay, time to clean my social media. And I saw the demand. I was like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah.
here. I was like, hey, everybody's on social media. We're cooking. I don't want to cook. That's whack. Because we see it's like I felt like I was watching a cooking show every day. And I was like,
Yeah, it was like every single
yeah. And
person.
it was just these lame recipes. I was like, I'm good.
It was cool for like 2 weeks.
Right. And then it got very boring.
Yes.
Then it
Yes.
was just like, how much more cooking can I do? So I started behind the kitchen. So when I started behind the kitchen, I saw that I was taught because I had a large following, I was targeting these huge chefs, right? Millions of followers,
Yeah.
Michelin star chef. They didn't have nothing to do. These Michelin star chefs were at home
Right, right.
making meal preps. And I was like, good. I'm gonna talk to them. So I started targeting them, and they will all come on my show. They will
That's
all
nuts.
come on my show. And I saw how the food industry had such high demand. So I started. Emailing just social media brands, like cooking brands on social media. Hey,
Uh-huh.
send me free products. I'll make content. I'll repost you. I did that for like 2 months, and then I saw like how my posts were going super, super, super great, and I
Yeah,
started
yeah.
charging. I
Uh-huh.
got to the point that I think one company asked me, "Hey, how much do you charge?" And I was like, "Bingo," because I didn't know how to convert my page. I was making
Right.
money. I was making money promoting for clothing brand, but I
Right.
didn't
And
want to
then
convert it into culinary. So when that first company gave me the opportunity, I started charging every company. I started having like a real business, having contracts, having really like really doing it like a business, having
right.
invoices and stuff. And my
Wow.
business has took a 360 ever since. And that's what I've been doing ever since the pandemic.
Or a 365.
Yeah, a 365. Yeah.
There you go. Just all the
Every
way
single,
around and a little bit more.
yeah.
That's funny.
And I just love it. And then I got into Social Feast, Scott, Grilling Full,
It sounds familiar.
Grilling Full.
The Grilling Fool.
Yeah, Grilling
Yeah,
Full,
I believe so.
like 750,000 followers.
Yeah,
I
crazy.
I interviewed him on my Behind the Kitchen, and he was telling me about
Nice.
Social Feast, and I was like, about Social
Okay.
Feast, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, can I come? Can I come? I was just asking. And then that pandemic, he was like, sure, you can come. They paid us, we created content, and I was like, I like open fire. This is what I'm good at.
Mhm.
I didn't even know what it was called
That's
until
right. It was you were just at that one. You were just at it, right? Al was there,
that's how
right?
I met Al.
And okay, okay.
That
Yeah,
was my
okay.
second social
That was
feast.
the second one.
Yeah. So the first one, we all created content at home. So then the second
Wow.
one, we were like, Jenny, do you want to come to Alabama? I was like, absolutely. So I
Yeah,
met
yeah.
all the bloggers. We formed like, a lot of people when they see me, they're like, oh, she can't cook. Like, wait, what is she talking about? She doesn't even know what she's talking about. And then when Al met me, he was like, you can cook. I was like, Al, trust me, I got this. And
And
then
and
Al,
and that's
pardon?
something I do after you're kind of close this up. That's something I really do want to dive into. is the open fire part of your cooking. Like, I really actually want to zone it because I'm curious. But go ahead, social feast.
I mean, we're doing all these huge, amazing things on open fire. I make this crazy boil that we went fishing the night before with Mel, which is Dark Side of the Grill,
Hmm.
with
Hmm. Hmm.
Nick, Salt Fire Barbecue, and
Salt
Light
fire.
Fire,
Yep.
and then with David, and we were just fishing, cutting fish, prawns, and all kinds of stuff. The next day, I made this incredible boil. They were like, "What?" I think I really impressed them the second day because the first day I
Ah.
just made like a roast, like a whole pork loin. I made
Hmm.
a seasoning and then we wrapped it. That was it. But when I made that boil, they were like, "Really?"
They were like, okay,
No, they're
okay.
all like, what? Because if you can make a good boil, like not everybody can make a good boil. There's like a
Right.
whole technique on how to make a very good boil. So when I made that and the fish were good, it was not overcooked. It was me and sauce squad that made it.
Nice.
Yeah. And then they're like,
You it I really enjoy watching you talk about your stories, even like as a whole and each little bit of it, because um and any of those that are just listening and not watching necessarily, you could just see the glow in her face about everything she talks about. So with that said, though, you have such a passion for the things that you do, and and um you you are very, very smart. I have to say, I admire your the go get 'em attitude. No matter what
thank
it
you.
is, you're never, it doesn't appear that you're ever really thinking about fear, failure, or success. You just want to go do it. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to do it, you're just going to go do it.
Oh,
It,
absolutely.
and I really love that approach, that you're just kind of like, I'll go take a job, kind of like what you were saying before, I'll go get a job, but I need to learn something. Like, you're not worried about like, well, oh, I have so many followers on Instagram. Like, I don't need a job. Like,
Oh,
you're just
I,
it,
I tell my I'm not married yet, but I tell my boyfriend, I'm like,
okay, okay.
if I get a dope job that I can have X amount every day coming in my bank account, I can do everything that I do part time. Like
Right,
I don't need to do it
right.
full time. As long as I'm learning, like there's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Utilize
Oftentimes
every
it just
single
doesn't seem
hour.
like it's enough. Yeah.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I have those days I feel like all the time. But now I feel like I work 10, 12 hours, 14 hours. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I get a job, I would just do the big thing that I want to do. So all of the little things that I'm doing, I can also, I can still do them. I'll focus more on the bigger picture, which is good.
Yeah.
You know what I
I mean,
mean?
like, yeah, it's just, I did a little just searching on your page, just looking at things, and and for anyone that hasn't, which I'm sure hundreds and thousands of people have, but you're it's like you are in this awesome chef's coat doing something, right? Then you're doing this like photo shoot for like a tax company or something, and it's crazy because I didn't. It's kind of, you did explain this earlier. Your followers were kind of maybe confused a little bit, like, oh, where's she going or what's she doing? But see, now that I know more of your story and how you speak about your passions, I can completely understand the mismatch on any post that you have, like with like a target audience. Obviously you're awesome. You look beautiful, by the way. You have this like coat over you and this business like thing with the suit, with the, oh my gosh. But you had that, right? And then it's like, you could be like, but now I understand. Like I understand so much more about that. I guess what I admire is I don't, if I'm quoting you, maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't really care what other people think. It's about what I'm doing.
Oh, absolutely.
you know,
Because I
and
think that people, not to cut you off, sorry about
no, no,
that.
no, please, please.
I feel like people will box you in and say you can only do this, but you
Right
have
on.
to utilize, because we're in a world of digital space, digital currency, digital real estate. You know what I mean? You have to
Right, right.
utilize all of your talent. Like, I don't want to just be, I am a culinary chef. I am a food influencer, but that's not all I can do. I can do more. And who are you
Yes.
to tell me that I can only talk about food all day?
Mm,
You
get it.
talk about food all day at home? Do you
Right, right.
eat food? Do you only watch the Food Network? You don't watch the news?
But
You
to
don't
be
know what's
honest,
going
yeah,
on in
I
this
mean, to
country?
be honest, like I
You know
literally
what I
like
mean? So
I
I
I
don't.
watch the Food Network like all day. To be honest, like yeah, I actually watch the Food Network all day, so now I feel like horrible.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, like that's if I probably had 2 channels, like I could probably survive.
No, I
But
get it, but the average person watches
yes, I know
everything.
what you're
I'm
saying.
sure you know what's going on in this country. You
I
watch
know what you're saying.
politics. You watch.
It
So why can't we talk about it? Why we have to?
right,
And I
I
get it,
completely agree with you. Like,
right?
you
And I
know,
feel like, go ahead.
no, like, um, some people didn't understand or maybe were kinda like, "What?" But, like, I put a couple stories up about, like, this energy drink that I like. Some people really liked it, but it was kinda like I could tell there was a little like, "Why are you even doing that?" So,
That's what I say.
it
These
was
people. That's what I
it's
tell.
just
When people
yeah,
try to box you up, I tell them
yeah.
to not box me up. No.
Yes, and I really do like that mentality because it's like a you hit it right on the nail with what you're talking about, like, the fact that I mean, like, I love, technology. I love,
Mhm.
like, TVs, like, awesome, new technology and, like, televisions and,
Right.
like, other things. So, it's like, I get what you're saying. It's like
Like if a TV company, like let's say you go and purchase TV and you work in a store and the TV company, you're like, oh, what's your name? Oh, do you guys have Instagram? I wanna post this. I wanna just, put this on
yeah,
my story. Because your story is really a story, right?
exactly. It's your day
So
to
I want
day.
exactly. So I want to put this in my story. The TV company see it, they say, oh, Steve, can you do some promo for us? We'll
Right,
pay
who
you.
knows, right?
Why would you say no? Oh, it's not my niche. Huh?
Right, 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 right.
I'm like,
I
what?
totally
It's not
yes,
my
you
what?
are
I mean,
it's
it's
like
not like you're doing something illegal.
yeah, right, right.
Like that's a
I get what
TV. Everybody
yeah,
watches TV.
yeah, yeah, exactly, or just
And
like
that's
this
what
stupid, the
right.
microphone, or whatever.
Exactly. The microphone. You can do an ad about the microphone that you use every single day. Like, what's
Yes,
wrong with people? So
yes.
I feel like people would try to box you in. I remember when I was talking to my agency about doing the tax commercial, they were like, "It's not you." I was like, "Americans file taxes every day.
Do you pay taxes?
You don't pay taxes?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Right,
And I'm like, "Think about how many people we can really recruit and get, And it's not really about the number. It's just like people. This is something that people do every day. People eat food every day. People
mhm,
go people drink water every single day.
right.
You know what I mean? People have to take a shower every single day. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like things
Yes.
like that shouldn't be like, I understand if you're doing something that is so out of the box, but
Yeah, yeah. Like, if I just started
lifestyle
modeling
things, things
Speedos
that
or
are
something,
right.
like, people would
Lifestyle
be like, "What
things,
the hell are you doing, bro?"
right.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. So, okay, look, so why don't we I want to actually talk about your open fire passion just real quick if
Hmm.
you don't mind.
Absolutely.
So obviously that started back, let's just say at the refugee camp, right?
Yes.
Just cooking on that. So and what do you why do you have a passion for that still Like
Um,
what keeps it going?
the flavor.
Mhm.
This comment. Oh, the flavor. I feel like cooking on open fire is a like when I met Al and he was showing us Argentinian style, I was like,
Oh,
this is it. I was like,
yes.
this is it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like flavors and the flavor. It's something very homey. I feel like home. I love
Uh-huh.
grilling, although I live in an apartment. Hopefully soon here I live in a home that I can have
Yeah,
all type of nice grills and stuff like that.
right.
But although I live in an apartment, I grill all the time. The flavor, it's just for me, it's very, it's very good, and I feel like it's also so easy to cook on open fire. The hardest part for the regular person is to actually make the fire. But
Yes.
once you know how to lit that fire, because
And main
you really control how you're cooking on open
right.
fire,
Yeah.
and for me, it's
I
a
feel the same
flavor.
way.
You know. I'll
Well,
cook on
in
Alamo.
trance.
Well,
Yeah.
and interesting. Absolutely. So, I feel like it's the flavor. It's every time I cook on open fire, I feel like I'm at home.
Uh-huh.
In Congo, we eat a lot of fish, so we smoke a lot of fish.
Oh,
We
wow.
grill a lot of fish. We cook also underneath the ground, just kind of how.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, we do that too. We cook. We cook with we do salt stuff. We cook with clay. So whenever I started just really mastering my craft, I started following Francis Mallman,
Mhm.
and I would read like The Seven Fire, all of his book, and I'm like, man, we do all of these in Africa. It's just not the same
It's not,
technique,
yeah,
but
similar.
it's similar. So open fire is just very it's very dear to my heart. It's the first way I've ever learned how to cook.
Right. And
Hmm.
and for me, in my opinion, it's the first way anyone should learn how to cook.
Not in America.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. Like, so my son
In
is
the
6 and
country, they do.
what? What?
I
Yeah.
say in the country, they do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, like my son, he's sick, so I want to I've been talking to him, and he helped me with some hot links the other day. His first, turning them
Ooh,
over with the tongs,
right.
and I'm like, all right, dude, and it's charcoal grill. So I mean, granted, I don't have like a big open fire area, but I run it like that. But he during in the springtime, I'm buying him one of the smaller like the Weber kettles,
Yeah.
the short ones,
Uh-huh.
and he's just gonna end up just cooking steaks. I'm gonna show him how and do it over it, and just how to learn like that. If there's anything I can give my children, it's that.
I think it's so funny how, I'm not American, but I grew up here. It's so funny how in America, men are the one who cooking on open fire, but in Africa, it's all women.
Right, 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 right.
I
I
was like,
totally
what's
yeah,
going on?
yeah. I
Like
just
my
I
dad can only lit the fire. I
right, right.
think he can cook on the fire, okay?
That's awesome. And you know what? You are absolutely right. And this isn't like a virtue signaling thing or anything like that. This is my real opinion. And I think we do need more women that grill over open fire more. I think that's awesome. I love the I you know for me it's therapy, and I
It
believe
really
like
is.
yes, and I believe anyone, and I'm not just saying more women or what. I believe anyone can really benefit from doing that. I mean, it's just, I think it's just something in our blood,
I think
right?
also a lot of people are scared because it's fire. They
Yeah,
also don't know how to. I think the hardest part about open fire that people are, and that's something that I always say that when I really start doing open fire content, when my website get, I'm gonna teach people how to manage the fire. That's one thing that
Yes, how
lacks.
just
People don't do
maintain the temperatures,
right,
maintain
maintain because a lot of people they want to learn how to cook on open fire, but they don't know how to
right,
manage the
absolutely.
fire. That's the hardest part of cooking on open fire, how to turn up the heat, turn down the
Yes,
heat, how to manage
yes.
the fire. You know, a lot of people don't know how to do that, and that's really
Al
the hardest
Al
thing.
taught me, when I was out in Texas, we were all sitting there and, oh, this, uh we'd put actually a TFTI had we were like, "Oh, no," anyways, put a new log on the fire. It was kinda going down, and I was like, "Oh, come here, come here." He calls me, Stevie, hey, Stevie, come here, like that, and he goes like this, right? And he just goes, and he just puts his fingers together and he like blows right. And he's like, "Come here, come right level and do this." Man, I swear to God, it was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It really like it concentrated like the air, as opposed to just blowing on the
Right.
fire. It just concentrated the air to where it was like right underneath it, and it was like almost instantly just went back up. I was like, "Oh my God, this is so awesome."
I'm telling you, those trick is it's all the legends have all those trick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I call it the OGs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think he called it like dragon's breath or something like that. It was pretty
Like
funny. But
the OGs are, that's why it's so important to cook with OGs because
yeah,
for me, I'm like, shoot, I'm learning. I
yeah,
don't want
yeah.
to show up my skill. What skill do I have? Okay. You have all
Hey,
the skills.
yeah, but you just, I mean, I could tell that you can kill it on the grill. So to be honest, like it, it's just about, I think for me it's not even about like what you could do or what someone knows more. It's just the passion that you have for it, and I think you really
Absolutely.
show that. So
And
look,
also
so we have
the willingness of learning and making those mistakes and
yes, the willingness of failure. Like, and I tell that all the time. Like,
the
honest to
burning
God,
days.
a burnt steak is the best thing that can happen to you because you can actually learn from that. And
Yeah,
so
those burn steaks, man. I remember when I was in culinary school, you know, when we had to grill, so we had to grill on a gas oven, and this girl, I would never, she almost burned
burn the whole thing down.
Maddie. Oh, poor Maddie. Maddie almost burned the whole class. I was like, girl, that is too hot. The heat was so hot. She was just putting all type of oil on there. I was
Mhm.
like, girl, you're just supposed to oil the grill. So like those little mistakes, and
Yes.
burning bread. That's something that I do. I can't bake, so like burning bread, and you're like, what
Yeah, yes, but
happened?
but you learn from it. So look, so we have 9 minutes to the hour. I like to keep these things to an hour just to,
Yeah,
so because then I could just end up talking forever.
no,
Um, so with that said, your future. Um, you were talking about you're going to be on the um certain things. Oh, I did want to say you have a little segment that you do on the news, right?
yeah. So I do go on the news. So I don't think they're gonna call me back because my friend that actually got me that gig became a whistleblower
Oh,
for, yeah, she, do you know a company called Project Veritas?
that sounds, yeah.
Yeah, so she was one of the whistleblowers. So she called that Fox on national television. I know, I
Oh
know.
my god.
So I used to do segment on Fox. I
Okay,
don't think Fox want me.
so forgive me for bringing that up.
Yeah, so I don't think Fox want me, but I want to get back and doing segment on the news. But I actually want to start doing my own segment and on my website and
Hmm.
really on my own content.
Okay.
I'm at the
So like
point
so yeah, your future. Where do you see that? Let's say 5-year plan. What do you I know that's a lot of years considering the
oh
things
no,
that
I
you
already have it planned.
okay, let's hear it. Let's hear
Okay,
it. Or let's at
so
least kind of get an idea of it so we can know what we're looking forward to.
married, 2 kids, cookbook. Um, I want to do a show like Anthony Bourdain, but on my
Ah,
own YouTube and travel and do that. But the difference is I want to go stage at Michelin star restaurants in Europe.
mm,
So I want to record all that, just me working for free, learning from all of these chefs and just recording that experience.
I like
I want
that.
to do that when my kids are like small, that I don't have to take them to school
Right,
so
right.
that I can travel with them.
Wow.
But beforehand, I want to have a cookbook. And it's not going to be really like a cookbook. I'm actually in a work of that. It's more like a cookbook slash memoir.
Ah, uh-huh.
Yeah. So I want to put my story and
Like something that people wanna read,
yeah,
right? That
something that people want to read. And also, thank you. And also want to learn of just my dear recipes. And then
mhm.
later on, once I learn more, I want to do, like sequels.
Yeah, right, 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 and then because and then you can add the certain things that are happening in your life at that moment. That's
Right.
actually freaking genius.
Yeah, because I feel like that's what Gianna does.
Yes.
I mimic Gianna, That's why
Yes,
she has a
yes.
hundred books because it's like Gianna in Italy, Gianna cooking pasta, Gianna
Right.
in Paris. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
Giada
I'm
drinking
gonna do
water.
it too. Every
Oh god,
aspect of her life, she has a book.
yes, yes. I've
Yeah.
always
So I
really
like that concept because you can also do them as a sequel. You can also do them just like a part one, part two. You can do them
right.
really however way you want to do. But I want to do one just with my story, with like my recipes, like the recipes that are like family recipes and stuff like that. Then I want to really teach, you know. But the first, I just want to do it where it's my story because I feel like
Yeah.
when you get to a cookbook that you have to start teaching new techniques. Not that I'm not at that level, but you got to be I want to be more. I want to be more knowledgeable. No,
Yeah,
I want to
but
know more than I know
yes,
now.
but you're always gonna wanna know more,
Oh, absolutely.
you know? For example, I was just thinking, like, about your story, the, cooking for your dolls, right? That
Hmm.
t what was it, like, tomato thing, right?
Yeah, the tomato can. Because
Right. So
it's
what I'm thinking of, though, is get m make a recipe based on that.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Where you're telling a story, but here's a recipe based on that, and it's more of like a fine dining, but
Yeah. So
not,
that's what
you know?
right. I see what you're saying. That's kind of
Yeah,
how I want to do it.
okay. I
Refugee
like
camp.
that.
When I moved to America, things that I was cooking, chapati, what I was selling. So it's
Yes.
story.
Yes.
And then
And
I can
these
also put like five. My mom is getting old, so I want to do this soon. So she still
yes.
has a trend of thought. She can, do demos with me because she's 60.
Right.
So by the time she's 70, I don't think she's gonna want to do all that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, do what are you going to say? What you said you were practicing earlier today. What are you on that show for?
Wait, the TED
Or
Talk?
not show. Yes. Yeah, yes.
So I'm just gonna pretty much. So my TED, it's the title is my recipe of life.
Ooh.
So I'm going to be giving lessons, everything that I have gone through, lessons on how people can relate. Not people can never relate to me because they've never gone through tragedy like I have, but
Right.
how I can put my story and have these lessons that also you as a viewer can take away from.
Mhm.
So how to find joy in a mix of chaos, how to how I don't want to give it up, but how to find joy in the midst of chaos, how to do that. I'll give examples of my story, then I will tell you, the viewer, how you can find joy in the midst of chaos.
Right.
I did
Right.
feeding my dolls. That was something that,
Exactly.
right. So that's gonna be my talk about. I'm really excited. I hope that I'm able to impact a lot of women and also motivate not just women but also people. I think we live here in America. A lot of people suffer for depression, anxiety, and I feel like sometimes they just need a little bit push. Not
Yeah.
everybody has been to war and stuff like that, but if I can be able to just wake somebody up and say, "Hey, she almost got killed. She did this, but here
Right.
she is today," that would make me really happy.
Right. Right. I love that. I love that a lot. And it's just is that like I was thinking about this today, just to kind of finish up. Like, not everyone's bad day is everyone's bad day.
Oh, absolutely.
If that makes
Yeah,
any sense, or not everyone's best day is everyone's best day, you know?
right.
And so I think
My
it,
best day can, your best day can just be waking up. You just, maybe
yeah,
walk or go to the gym, take your kid to
yeah,
school. My good day can be going to the gym, making this. You know what I mean? Everybody's different.
yes, and the way we view it individually, and it's just and that's the thing. I think we all I think what we need more of is just relating.
Compassion.
Yes, yes, compassion, empathy,
Yes.
for each other, and just knowing that, hey, um yeah, I mean, whatever, but yeah, compassion and empathy, I think, and I
Yeah,
think
because for me, I hear a lot of my friends or women complain, "Oh my this, my oh this and this and this," and I'm like, "Girl, that's nothing." But I can't tell them that because I'm like, she's never gone through anything like I have, so she
right,
probably,
right,
like this is like life or death to her. So
absolutely,
I have to also treat it like it is. But I
yeah.
also seen a lot of people that have gone through a lot, and when you complain about one thing, they're like, "What? You're this?
You
You're a
never,
pussy. You know what I
yeah,
mean?" And
yeah, you don't know, yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
wait,
Well, we
okay,
all haven't been through all of that, so it's
exactly.
hard.
And that's why my talk. That's really what I wanted people to take out of my talk is
Uh,
we've never been through everything she's been through, but what I'm gonna take away is this is how I'm going to deal with
yes,
this
yes.
whenever this happens, or
It's
I
not
can.
right. It's not about the level of the things that have happened to you. It's just about how you deal with it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
I like that. I like that a lot. So, okay, let's close this out. I want you, if you can,
Mm.
I think we pretty much just covered it in the last like 45 seconds, but maybe some advice, or just something you would like to leave people with. Any last words? Well, certainly not last words, but just on this podcast, and anything that you would like to just say. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
super stoked to be here. I am. I mean, I feel like I'm just an open book.
Yeah.
A is you gotta have faith. God is real. Um, B is always pray and really talk to God like you're talking to your best friend.
Right. Right.
Guys, listen. And three is find that strength within you. And another thing is really positive thinking and positive thought is like when people say that you can really shape your life with your thought is really true because it's not even true, it's actual reality. And the devil comes in your head. So
Hmm.
when you're thinking negatively, that is not from God. That is from the other, the opposition, right?
Right. Right.
So control your thought, always be in control of who you are.
Yeah.
We live in a world that it's really hard for us to be present. Be present in that moment and
Yes. Okay.
feel that moment, no matter if it's a very terrible moment. Don't hold your tear, cry out that moment. You're
I
really
like that.
happy and you don't want to sound happy. Be happy in that moment
Mm.
and stay healthy. Health is wealth. Take care of yourself and continue to be true to who you are. If being true
Absolutely.
to who you are mean you don't like X, Y, and Z, don't pretend.
Right,
Because
right,
that
right.
goes long ways. It's always good to have integrity.
Yes, integrity. Absolutely. Man, you are amazing. Blazing Star
Thank you
says
so much.
no doubt we'll see you on TV something like that in the future.
Well, I'm sure I'm going to see you on TV soon
Yeah,
here.
right, right, right. I think that whether TV or whatever it is, you are going to do extremely big things. And
Oh, thank you.
honestly, now that I've gotten to know a little bit, teeny bit more about you, I cannot wait to see what you're going to do. Honestly, thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it. With that said, on Instagram, are you going to be able to come on for the after party?
So, how long is the after party?
As long you could stay on as long as you want. It could be
Okay.
5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Okay, that's
It's
fine.
just it's
Do I have to come on right now, right?
bathroom break, that kind of thing will take like 5 minutes. That whatever, and then I just go live and I'll wait for you and get you in there.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll jump on for a little bit because
That's awesome. Yeah,
I have,
yeah, yeah.
I have a super early morning tomorrow.
I hear you. I
So
hear you.
I'll
And
definitely jump on and I will see you then.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Thank
give
you
me
so much
give
for
me give
having
me like
me.
5 minutes. Stay on for a couple minutes. I'm gonna end this broadcast. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Everyone. Oh, that's funny. I have to. Sorry, before we close the show. So her actual handle is Eat With Me XYZ. So when you were saying, if you don't like XYZ, so she's saying who
Oh,
doesn't like. So that's actually
I
that's
like
actually pretty.
XYZ, okay?
Right, 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 right. So absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for coming in here. I appreciate you supporting the show. Like,
Absolutely.
don't forget, please hit the like button. Share this too. Share it to everyone you know. Like a very inspiring story, not just about food or barbecue, but just about life.
Thank
Really,
you.
thank you for coming on in, and have a good night.